that particular wave passes through the rectangular waveguide. So if I'm taking a rectangular waveguide here, this is my rectangular waveguide. Okay, so I'm just connecting this parts. So how I'm going to define this guide wavelength? Now, it is defined as the distance traveled by the wave in order to undergo the phase shift of a 2 pi radian. So inside this waveguide, how that particular waves travel. So if this is nothing but the wave which is traveling, I can say inside the waveguide, ये आपका, so ये जो भी transition of 2 pi radians, this particular will be called as the lambda g. ठीक है? So you can denote it with another phase constant, another constant, which is nothing but the lambda g is equal to 2 pi by beta. ठीक है? Otherwise you can write your relationship, that is 1 upon lambda g square is equal to 1 upon lambda 0 square minus 1 upon lambda c square. Now we are going to discuss this definitions also. So here you right now understand your guide wavelength is nothing but the transition of 2 pi radians inside the rectangular waveguide. ठीक है? Now next one is nothing but the phase velocity. ठीक है? So phase velocity, which will be denoted by Vt. So how I'm going to define this phase velocity? This is nothing but the wave propagates in the rectangular waveguide, or you can say this is nothing but the rate at which the wave changes its phase in term of the guide wavelength. So in a very simple way, if I want to write Vp is equal to lambda g divided by unit time. So lambda g, unit time is nothing but the 1 by t. So 1 by t is nothing but the frequency. So if I multiply both the sides with the 2 pi, I'll say f, ठीक है, lambda g t divided by 2 pi. I have multiplied both the sides with the 2 pi. ठीक है? So this will become a 2 pi f divided by 2 pi divided by lambda g. And if you do recall, this particular constant 2 pi by lambda g is nothing but the beta. So you write here omega divided 2 pi f is nothing but the omega. So again we can write my phase velocity is equal to omega divided by beta. So you can write your phase velocity relationship like this. If you know the angular velocity, if you know the phase constant, you can calculate the phase velocity. ठीक है? So this is all about how we can write. Now next one is nothing but the group velocity. So group velocity will be denoted by Vg. So how you're going to define a group velocity? This is nothing but the rate at which wave propagates through waveguide. So when I say this is the rate at which my wave propagates through the waveguide, this will be given by Vg is equal to d omega by d beta. ठीक है? So we have calculated the group velocity, or we have calculated the phase velocity, we have calculated the group velocity. So now how I am going to write down the expression for phase velocity? So here the expression for phase velocity, that is Vp. So if I'm interested in the expression for the phase velocity, we know that phase velocity is equal to omega by beta. ठीक है? And we know that h square is equal to gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon, which is nothing but the a square plus b square, or you can write in other way, that is m pi by a square plus n pi by b square. Now here gamma is nothing but the alpha plus j beta. Now for propagation, what is the condition? Your phase constant must exist. So for propagation, your gamma must be j beta. ठीक है? So if your gamma is present, if your propagation is there, you can say my propagation is possible in only this condition. Okay, so I can replace all this. Now I am assuming that phase velocity will be there if my propagation will be there. So this should be the condition to have the propagation. So I can say gamma square is equal to j beta square. ठीक है, ये आपका gamma square is equal to j beta square is equal to m pi by a square plus n pi by b square minus omega square mu epsilon. Now, at exactly f is equal to fc, I have omega is equal to omega c and my gamma is equal to 0 because my propagation just starts there. Okay? So I can write this value will be 0. So whenever this comes this side, my omega square mu epsilon, now this will become a cutoff frequency at that time. So I can write this equation in such a way that omega c square mu epsilon is equal to m pi by a square plus n pi by b square, which is nothing but the, I can say now I have something this at a cutoff frequency, but here you know that gamma square is equal to j beta square. This is the value, which is nothing but the, now this is my condition which I have got when I have put it that my frequency is the cutoff frequency. So the relationship I can write here is nothing but the omega c square mu epsilon minus omega square mu epsilon. So if you do recall the previous equation. So when you put all these things over here, I can say my gamma square is equal to beta square is equal to, now this will be the minus beta square and my all change will be there mu epsilon minus omega c square mu epsilon. क्योंकि ये मैंने प्लस किया है तो अंदर के साइंस I have changed over here. So I can write beta is equal to omega square mu epsilon minus omega c square mu epsilon. So one mu epsilon will come out. So mu epsilon I can write omega square minus omega c square. ठीक है? So whenever you are writing a phase velocity, you are writing omega by beta. Now I have got only beta over here. ठीक है? So I can write my beta here mu epsilon square root of omega square minus omega c square, and this will be the omega over here. ठीक है? So if I'm dividing each and every term with the omega, I can write this will be the mu epsilon, the omega will become 1, and then when it will go inside the square root, it will become a square. That's why this term will be 1 minus omega c by omega square. Okay? Now 1 upon mu epsilon is nothing but the c, that is velocity of light. So I can write 1 upon root mu epsilon is the velocity of light. So finally my phase velocity will be c divided by 1 minus omega c by omega square, which I can write further in terms of the frequency like this. So 1 minus 2 pi fc divided by 2 pi f square. So 2 pi will get cancelled. So my phase velocity will be c divided by 1 minus fc by f square. So this is nothing but the equation of my phase velocity. If I know the cutoff frequency and if I know the frequency of my propagation, I can find out what will be the phase velocity. Okay? Now as we know that my relationship of a frequency and relationship of a wavelength is nothing but exactly opposite. So I can write here fc is nothing but the c by lambda c and f is nothing but the c by lambda 0. So fc by f is nothing but the c by lambda c, and I can say c by, so it's by, so it will be lambda 0 by c. So finally it will come lambda 0 by lambda c. So I can write the phase velocity in terms of the wavelength, that is c divided by 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square. So I have defined the phase velocity in terms of the frequency. I have defined a phase velocity in terms of the wavelength. So this is the expression of the phase velocity. Now next one is nothing but the expression for group velocity. How I'm going to find out the group velocity? That's, as we have already seen the definition, my group velocity Vg is nothing but the d omega by d beta. Okay, so if I'm talking about the d omega by d beta, and that I know that this is my Vg, but beta is nothing but the mu epsilon omega square, sorry, in the square roots. This will be the omega square minus omega c square. This we have already seen right now. So if I reverse this particular equation, d beta by d omega, I can write this mu epsilon in the square root. I can write d by d omega. I need to write, right? So I can say d by d omega with respect to this one is omega square minus omega c square. So here, if I'm going to do this kind of things, I'll just write the differentiation, which is nothing but the 2 omega square minus omega c square. This will be the mu epsilon into 2 omega mu epsilon. So this is the differentiation of, I can say, this beta, which is nothing but the mu epsilon omega square. So now if this is the d beta by d omega, I can reverse this one to get a d omega by d beta. But first I'll solve this equation, which I have got right now. So d beta by d omega is equal to mu epsilon. I can write 1 minus omega c by omega square. I have solved the equation which we have got previously. So this will be mu epsilon. In terms of the frequency, this will become 1 minus fc by f square. Okay. Then the group velocity is exactly opposite of this one. So d omega by d beta, which comes now, I am just going to write this equation and this equation down. Now I know that 1 upon root of mu epsilon is nothing but the velocity of light. So group velocity, if I'm writing in terms of this velocity of light, this equation right now will become Vg is equal to c into 1 minus fc by f square. And in terms of the wavelength, c 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square. So if you do recall, the group velocity is c by this equation, and this is c into this equation. So if we multiply Vp with Vg, you will get Vp as 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square, and Vg c into 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square. So these terms would get cancelled and get a c square. So you can say your Vp into Vg gives you the velocity of light square. So this is what we have concluded from this one. Okay. Now we are going to find out the relation between lambda z, lambda g, lambda 0 and a lambda z. Okay. So I can write relation between lambda g, lambda 0 and lambda c. What is the Vp here? Vp is equal to lambda g into f. Okay. So I can write this lambda g by lambda 0 into c. Okay. So if I'm talking about the phase velocity, we know that my phase velocity is nothing but the lambda g into f. So if I'm writing f is nothing but the c by lambda 0. Okay. And we know that our phase velocity is c by 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square. Okay. So if I equate both these equations, lambda g by lambda 0 into c. So lambda g is equal to, अगर आप यहाँ पे इसको put, c will get cancelled, this lambda 0 will come here, and this complete equation will become lambda 0 1 minus lambda 0 by lambda c square. ठीक है, अगर आपको lambda 0 के टर्म में नहीं चाहिए, you can just, so if I know what is my lambda g, what is my lambda c, I can go for lambda 0. If I know what is lambda 0 and other one guide wavelength, then I can calculate this. ठीक है, so this is the relationship between guide wavelength. Lambda 0 is a free space wavelength and this is nothing but the cut off wavelength. So I think this is all about the parameters. Now here again one we have analyzed our TM waves. Now in this session again we are having half an hour, so I'll just go with the analysis of your TE waves also. Okay, so in this session we'll cover both the analysis. Okay. Okay, so before going for the TE analysis, I'll just go with the dominant mode of the TM wave. Okay. So if I'm talking about the TM wave and if I'm talking about the cutoff wavelength, which we have already talked about, lambda CMN is nothing but the twice AB divided by M square B square plus N square A square. So we know that if I'm talking about the TM wave, I don't have any modes does exist before that one mode. So for TM wave, I can say 000110 does not exist. So as this mode does not exist, I should put the values of TM11 mode. So in the TM11 mode, I can say M is equal to 1, N is equal to 1. So what will be this value here? Lambda CMN will become, or 1 will become twice of AB, M is 1. So I can write here B square plus A square, this kind of things. Okay, because I'm putting. So this will be for 1 mode. If I'm putting TM12 mode, so if you're putting TM12 mode, lambda C12 will be twice of AB divided by B square plus 4A square, because my M is equal to 1 in this case and N is equal to 2. So N square becomes a 4. This is my second mode. What about the third mode? TM21 mode, exactly opposite of this one. So lambda C21 will be twice AB 4B square plus A square. Okay. Now I'll compare all these modes now. Okay. So if I compare by inspection, it is clear that if I'm talking about the first one, 1 B square A square, ये जो भी है वो small value आएगा. So if I compare all these modes, I can say lambda C11 is greater than lambda C12, which is I can say, and lambda C11 is greater than lambda C21. So if lambda C11 is greater than 12 and 21, I can say my lambda C11 is the highest cutoff wavelength. And if I am saying this is the highest cutoff wavelength, my dominant mode, we have already seen what is the dominant mode. So the dominant mode for this is nothing but the TM wave, TM11. So always whenever you're talking about the TM mode, your dominant mode is TM11 mode.